I've been playing with buttons. As you can see, I've got a little box full of buttons. I've got more, but this is a little box that I've been playing with. And I've been making some ephemera for junk journals. So if that's your thing, stay tuned. The first thing I made were these little tags, and I've just sewn buttons onto the tags. I'm going to just move the other things out of the way for a moment so we can just have a look at these. So these are just labels from clothes, like tags, and I've covered them. This is just an ordinary paper label. I've covered it in some music paper, and I've sewn on some metal buttons. They're not metal, they're plastic, but they look metal. So this is another clothing tag that I have covered with some book page from an embroidery book. Put some plain on the back and just stitched some buttons on. You don't need to stitch, you can glue. And I thought this was a bit different. Put onto a playing card, a little bit of writing space if you need it. And I've just sewn on some little buttons, little red ones. So yeah, just made from scraps that I've got lying around. The next thing I made with these, it's really easy, and I'm sure you've seen it before. You glue them, these very clear buttons. I'll show you one if I can find one. If you can see this, but it's very clear. And I've often thought, what can I do with those? My idea was, and I've seen it before, think I got it off Pinterest. I've glued mine onto music paper, map pages. Oh, there's a clear one as well. And as you can tell, it gives them a whole new lease of life. That's a book page one. Got exterior written on there. And you can just use them as little embellishments. You can glue or just stitch them down. And what I've done is I've added them onto some fabric clusters. So I've got music page and onto a tag, and I've glued that one on. So you don't need to stitch if you don't like stitching. So those are super cute and can be added to lots of things. Talking about clusters, here we go. Another thing to do with your buttons. Make little flowers and add a button in the centre. I must make some of these. I've promised the ladies on my other channel to make some of these. Clusters with a little button in the front. This is all I've done. Mix your paper and your fabric. Makes lovely little clusters. And just add a button. It makes all the difference. This is just a grungy little cluster. Use your big fancy buttons. This one I've just embroidered round. So just scraps put together and held together with a button. I didn't do anything apart from just grab all my scraps and sew the button on. That's all I did. And a really pretty one that we can turn into a paper clip if we want to. Talking of paper clips, I did make some. Right, so I made these first. And this one I've just added 2 buttons to one of the big paper clips, covered the back with some scrapbook paper. I've put on those buttons with the big loop on the back. I can never find a space for those. So I've pushed it all the way through, added some fabric, and that's what I've done with these. This is just glued on. I'll probably cover the back. But I was so excited to show you all my ideas. This is paper twine. That hasn't got a button. Where's my button gone? I don't know. I've just added it with this lot. Just for my grungy journals, I thought this was good. Buttons back to back. And another one. Those are going to be in my journals as either bookmarks or just paper clips. Another idea for bookmarks. Let me move those because we're not doing them yet. These are, again, the buttons with the loop on the back. And I've just threaded them on and just glued them. And how cool are those? These are all vintage ones. So I've just glued them on. Oh, hello. This is really pretty. So I've put it onto a gold paper clip. You can use little paper clips if you've got little ones. Oh, I've got loads of buttons left over. This is really old, so this will probably go with my grungy ones. This one has come unglued, but look, it doesn't matter. It's not going anywhere. When you put that on the top of your journal, onto your page, I should have a book somewhere. Let me get my book out. I'll show you. Pop it on the top. Like this, and it's just make a little dangle on the top. So cute. I might leave it on there. So those were my paper clips. So I thought, okay, we can also pop them onto our bulb pins, and I've put some really pretty ones onto the bulb pins. So this is a shiny little metal one. Little pink one, I've threaded onto a pink one. Just thread them on. This is a lovely coloured one. These are from some sort of clothing. I always take the buttons off. Oh, you should be up there. And there's another one. So lots of little ideas you can add to your journals. Next, you can see these in the corner of your eye. Little paper flowers. Very flat, easy to add onto tags and pockets. And all I've done is cut circles out of paper and staggered them, inked around the edges and stuck a button. And that's it. Just lots of different buttons. I've got loads of buttons flying around. And I've just chose some interesting buttons. Little pearl button. And then I tried with my punch to make flower shapes, but I haven't got a big one. If you've got a big flower shape, you can make big flowers. But I thought sometimes you only want little ones. So these are just some little baby ones that you can just add onto a tag or a journal pocket, something like that. So cool. I don't know how many. I was going to count how many. Oh, what was I doing? What was the next thing? Oh, yes, I made these over on my other channel. And these are just tags made from fabric. And if you're wondering what my other channel is, it's all about stitching. It's called Hand Stitch with Carol. And I made these last week. I'll leave the link in the description box if you want to go and watch it. And I've used buttons as the spots on the top of my little mushroom houses. And I've just embroidered little mushrooms. So another way you can use buttons. I have got these, which obviously go into my grungy journals. And they're basically just a lot of papers, fabric scraps and buttons stitched on to my little scraps. That's all. This is just real scraps. Little grungy cluster of bits and pieces. And this is a little pocket. So you can add this. This is out of a masterboard, I believe. So out of a masterboard, and I've just added a button. So that's out my grungy clusters. And I did have a go at this. I'm not too sure if I'd use this, but I thought I'd covered one of these old frames with some buttons. Put a picture behind it, or you can use it on one of your covers. And I think that's it. I think we've made quite a few little bits and pieces. I didn't want to go through it because I am sure that you know how to make all these. If you don't, they're quite self-explanatory and quite easy. But if you do want me to make a video on how I made any of them, do let me know. And also, if you have any more ideas for using your buttons, pop them in the description. No. And if you've got your favourite idea for using buttons, I'd love to know it. If you want to pop it in the comments. If you've enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up, and I will see you very soon. Bye for now.